Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades Stocks on Sunday. And we're going to talk today about what 50 years of data on the stock market might tell us about what's coming up. We'll look at the SPY. We'll update the United Health trade, which we've been covering over the last few days as well, and a whole bunch more. Before we do that, smash the like button. Does help get this channel out to more people, does support the channel. And of course, if you're new, smash the subscribe button and you'll get my daily updates. So let's jump straight into the 50 years of data. Says next year leans bearish. September is the worst month on record for the S&P 500 there. There you have it, 50 years of data. And of course, also, we have the Bollinger Bands. It's now trading the very top end of its Bollinger Band there. And you can see each time it's come up to the top end of the Bollinger Band, there has been a pullback, sometimes to the middle there and sometimes to the bottom. They are getting quite tight there. And you do see when they got quite tight over here, that there was quite a big move to the downside, of course, before April took off like a rocket ship. And even when we did get up the top there, we did come back to the middle here. And then just recently, we did have a pullback back to around the bottom of that level there. And now we're starting to top out a little bit there. I want to know what you think. What do you think about the SPY? What do you think about upcoming for August and September? Of course, there's no FOMC meeting in August. The CPI was lower than expectations. Core CPI was higher, of course, but the market didn't seem to care about the core CPI. It took the headline CPI number and continued to go until it came back with a bit of a thud to reality, particularly the crypto market. I will update the crypto market on Monday, tomorrow, but the PPI that came out was very hot, much hotter than expected, and the fears are that will lead to higher CPI. We get August CPI number in September the 11th, and that will largely determine, I feel, what will happen at the next FOMC meeting when the Fed makes their rate cuts decision, if there will be any rate cuts there. That's on, I believe it's the September the 17th. Okay, so that is the SPY. I want to know your thoughts around the SPY. How do you think that's going to play out? And of course, let's look at the SPY. Of course, we're in this inverse head and shoulders play there from around about the low 600s, and that has been playing out. And I gave that play for you way back when it broke out, and it's on its way to over $700 there. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to get there without any pullbacks. We've already seen 9 and the 20 EMAs. If you look, that, of course, we got the Tribal Trades indicator that got us in early April. I gave this trade on YouTube here. You can go back and watch my Stocks on Sunday shows over this time period where I gave multiple trades for the SPY and for stocks and updated on the Tribal Trades cheat sheet. And then, of course, when it crossed the 9 and the 9 crossed the 20, off it went to the races. And every time it pulled back, it either came to the 9 or it came into the 20, and those were great buying opportunities. Only recently, we finally broke down below the 20, but the next day, it broke back above, only closed one day below there, and then it was up again. So the obvious levels for any kind of a pullback is to the 9 EMA, which is at 639, or the 20 EMA at 634. And then, of course, the Fibonacci level that it's already retested multiple times along here as a validated level of support at about 619. You got the 50-day moving average above it at 620. So there are some really great levels. And then the level below 613, that's our previous all-time high from back in February over here, as you can see. It hasn't really been retested there. So that would be interesting if we come back to there. And of course, we'll leave it there. Of course, the upside, we have resistance at 649, but I feel like the market does expect there to be some kind of correction sooner rather than later there for the SPY, and that's our SPY trade. Of course, you can trade inverse. So when the SPY starts to come down, sometimes a great chart to look to is the inverse ETFs, which, of course, if you'd gotten in to them in February, you could have made huge gains to the upside buying the inverse ETF, which is a short, the 1x, 2x, and 3x shorts for the SPY. And then, of course, you would have wanted to get out on the tribal trades indicator, got you out of that ETF that you would have made money to the downside, and then got you into the SPY where you make money to the upside. And this is what the Tribal Trades Discord and trading system is all about. Whether you're a short-term trader, a medium-term trader, a long-term trader, there are strategies that change the game and bring about our wealth transformation journey. And these systems really, really do work. For example, if you had gotten out of the SPY and gotten into inverse SPY ETF, you would have made a large amount of money to the upside. This went from about $40 all the way up to $51. And then if you had a switch to the SPY, because the Tribal Trades indicator went green there, as we come down here, down the bottom, got in the SPY, then you switch to the SPY or a SPY to ETF. There's a 2x and a 3x leverage. I use the 3x, which is the SPXL, and that gives you 3x leverage all the way up. You could have switched to that. That went all the way from 87 all the way up now to $194 because it gave you 3x gains of the SPY. Absolutely incredible there, okay? So that's how that works. That's a whopping trade. Now, if we turn over and roll over here and the SPY starts to roll over and lose the 9 and 20 and the 50, and we get that Tribal Trades indicator reversal, we can switch back over here. And what will happen over here is we'll get a nice green dot on the weekly time frame. In fact, there is a green dot on the weekly time frame, but I wait for confirmation. We want to see it break through the 9 EMA on the daily time frame and the 20 EMA, and we want the 9 to cross over the 20. That's our confirmation of that trade. Of course, you can get in early when it goes green. You'll still make some upside there. This one went from 38 up to about $39, $40. So, and then you would have gotten out on the red dot there. However, I'll be looking for that because then we could see a nice longer run up with a deeper correction possibly in September. But if it is turning out just to be a shorter correction and the SPY comes down to like 619 or 613 again, and we don't see much of a pump here, maybe we just come back up to 41. That will just be a little bit of a short gainer to get out. But if it turns into something longer, like we saw in February, although stocks historically are bullish in October and November, so it might just be 3 to 4 weeks of a little bit of downside, but there can still be some nice gainers. So it's good to look over here as well. If you get the green dot over here and then you get the red dot over here, it's usually time to switch and you can pivot. You can make money on the way down. You can make money on the way up. You can learn how to do that in Tribal Trades Discord. We teach how to take longs to the upside and shorts. We teach you how to use the indicator and all the other indicators that I have here available, okay? Let's update the United Health trade. This was a fantastic trade that I gave. Let's shoot over to the Discord and look at those levels that I gave originally. So many great trades in here. Let's just try and find this one. Here it is here. $2.65 for United Health and $12.82 were the original entries that I gave for these. Absolutely incredible. Let's look at both of these and where there are possibly still some opportunities here when the market opens on Monday. $12.82. Absolutely incredible. Just around here. It was given, there you go, on Wednesday, August the 13th, and this took off like a rocket ship. It was a big move to the upside there. So $12.85 all the way up to $17. Absolutely incredible. I do have this bull flag pattern target that I gave at about $17.80. There is another bull flag pattern. The breakout target for that is around $20. And of course, I will keep updating this trade in the Discord and here on YouTube during the week. Now, of course, let's look also at the United Health trade and possibly where that could go to a little bit longer term there. We switched to the daily time frame. And what happened here? We got so many people ask me, they're like, oh, when are you buying? Can we buy here? And I was like, no. I saw all these influencers telling people to buy here and here and here and all the way down. I'm like, I don't try and catch a falling knife. I don't buy a dip. that keeps dipping, I trade the trend because the trend is your friend, and I wait for a bullish reversal signal, and bam, did we get that on the weekly time frame, and it was go time. Okay, and I gave that trade at about 265 there. That was it, right on the button. And as it broke through, now, of course, it's gone through the 9 and the 50-day moving average and went from 265 all the way up to $308. Where do I think this could eventually get to? I think strong stocks, and of course, there are no guarantees, people. Likely place that I feel that it could get to is up at its 200-week moving average, because strong stocks generally do tend to eventually get back to the 200-week moving average. How long it's going to take to get there, I cannot say, but this is a target to the upside. It's got to get through the 50-week moving average and the 200-day moving average and the 20 EMA on the daily. So there's a few resistances that it's going to have to get up past, and I haven't even drawn in the Fibonacci's there. I'll have to do this next time we update this chart. Let's put some fibs in there, and we can also see some levels to the upside there. Of course, where might be some plays to get back in? Well, of course, is most closest on the daily is the 50 EMA at 293 currently. That could be different come Monday, but I would always jump to the hour and say, okay, where is there a play on the hour? You could have taken this at any time on the 9 EMA on the hour, and you would be in profit, even as it came back there, even as it came back there. If it comes back again, you could always pop your stop loss at the 20 EMA, although the 20 EMA could also be good entry if it holds there as well. And then you got the 50-day moving average there at 288. So those are some opportunities to the upside, and of course some possible entries with some places to get out if the trade does go against you there. And the United Health trade has been absolutely fantastic. As we saw on the Discord, there's been so many wins in there. Let me just highlight this one. I love this one. My biggest win so far, Tribal Trader. All I can say is thank you, and this just makes my heart full of loving what I do for the people that I do it for and with. What an incredible community, the Tribal Trades family, I call it, because it is like family. Absolutely incredible. Dirac, well done. Great job. And I just don't even have time to go through all of these wins here. They just go on and on and on and on. Just so many. They just continue to go there. Absolutely fantastic. Trent with a great job. You're done for today. It's his bedtime there, and not too bad for a day's work there. Listen, the Discord is currently closed, but I get so many requests now. How can you get signed up? Let me tell you how. There is a wait list, and you can get on the wait list, and that's what I would urge you to do. And how do you get on the wait list? There is a link in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button, and the description will pop out. It's the top link there. There you can get on the wait list for the Tribal Trades Discord. I last had it open back in June of this year, and I do plan on opening it up again at a date which I haven't determined yet. And if at any time we have people who aren't able to renew their subscription, I am able to move people off the wait list into the main area of the Discord, and I was able to do that this week for a few people. Of course, I go in order of priority if you're in the wait list there. So that's that there. And remember, we have the Tribal Trades Indicator here. We have all these wonderful channels. The Tribal Trades Indicator is a paid indicator. It only comes, you don't have to pay extra for it. Once you pay your subscription for the Tribal Trades Discord, you get that as part of the subscription there, and all these other channels. I just don't have time to go through all of these channels today. That's all I have time for today. And of course, until I see you in the next episode or in the Discord, happy trading.